welcome to the very first melody video on this Patreon page. Today we'll be looking at the St. Anne's Reel. For those of you who don't know it, it's a great tune in D major and a real standard in the Bluegrass rep. Originally an Irish tune that came over, and yeah, super popular. You'll hear it at jams all over the place, festivals and that kind of stuff. And the thing with this tune is it's a really good exercise across the bass. We're going to be staying low down on the instrument, right where we have been, for that G major scale last week. It'll be like similar notes to that. And we'll be focusing more on going across the strings. Okay? So the way I broke this tune down when I was writing the fingerings both on the left hand and the right hand was thinking about economy of motion on the left hand, of course, and on the right I was thinking about your pointer finger right here being used for beats 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the middle finger being used for the ands. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Kind of rotating back and forth, like that. And the thing with that is it doesn't always work out that you're going to be using pointer and middle on every strong beat and middle on every weak beat because we're crossing strings. So sometimes it just makes more logistical sense to typically we're going to be overriding the middle finger with the pointer. I don't think there's any middle finger notes that are on strong beats in this melody. I pretty much always overrode a middle, one of the ands, with pointer instead. So yeah, I'll just gonna go through phrase by phrase and take it nice and slow. I'm not gonna do too much talking. I'll just let the visual speak for itself. But I'll repeat each phrase a few times so you can get the gist of it. Okay, here is 2 bars, first 2 bars, phrase 1. 2, 3, 4. One more time. So there I used the pointer instead of the middle on that very first 8th note. Because we're just hopping up to that G string for a second and letting it fall back to the D. So that was the choice I made. All right, moving on, bars 3 and 4. 3, 4. So there, everything is straight, pointer, middle, back and forth. And there's that big arpeggio jump, and I'll just break that down really quickly. That's starting on that low F sharp, A, D. So F sharp on the G string, open A, open D. And then the E going back to F sharp. Both those phrases together, 3, 4. Nice and pretty. And didn't have to shift at all with that left hand. That's economy of motion, right? Everything is right under the fingers. Cool, so moving on. We have our 3rd and 4th phrases in the A part. 3rd one is identical to the 1st. That's... Okay. And here we have this run of arpeggios. First the G arpeggio, then the A, landing on the D. And this is another spot where I subbed one of the middle fingers in for a pointer on the end of 2. So first arpeggio is G. That's B on the A string, G on the E string, back to B. Then we're going to use our pointer on D. And then we're going to be coming back to the pointer on the C sharp. Open A with the middle, C sharp, middle on the E, and then the pointer on the open D. Play play those two together. 3, 4. Here's the entire A part. Oh yeah. So again, rotating pointer, middle pointer for the most part. That'll help with speed when we get there. And didn't even have to move my hand once. That's economy of motion on the left hand. So breaking down the B part now. First two bars are super simple. They kind of exist on the A, and they start on the A, on the G string that is, and it kind of comes down to the F sharp. One more time. All right. Next two bars, we got to walk down to that low A, starting on the F sharp. And the fingers there, we're actually repeating our pointer 3 times in a row. It starts with the middle though. Middle, pointer, 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 middle, pointer. And that's how our pointer can fall to the A string from the D. Just like that, okay? So that's another example of a replacement. And next, we are jumping up to the G string. That's B, A, G sharp with our first finger. B and A. All right, so together. Then we have 2 D major arpeggios in a row. That's another example of replacing our pointer. Pointer, sorry about that. Pointer, pointer, middle, pointer, 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 middle, pointer, middle, pointer, pointer, pointer. All right, final phrase. So that's the same as that third bar of the B part. It starts at least. And here we got A with our pointer, C sharp with our middle, E with our pointer, G with our pointer, and then F sharp pointer, D, D, all with our pointer because they're quarter notes. Let's hear that entire B part, and then I'll play the entire tune. Oh yeah, so that's the St. Anne's reel, and not super challenging with where our left hand is, but getting this right hand technique of rotating pointer middle and subbing out that middle finger at times when it feels more advantageous to use pointer, that is a skill that will have to be developed over time. All right, so let me slap a metronome on, because you got to slap the metronome on when you're practicing. So this is, actually now I'm going to double this. So this is 80 beats per minute. And it's nice and slow. It's a really good place to start with this tune. So this is what I'd recommend, I'll play the entire tune and then I'll play it as if I were learning it for the first time, just to show you how I might approach breaking this down. And it's similar to what we did when I was teaching it, just phrase by phrase. But here's the entire tune. Move it on to the B part. Okay. And you can even go slower than that. You really don't have to play it at 80 to start. So take it even slower and let's say 60. Why not 60 for practicing? And this is what I'd recommend. Now, that's what I'm talking about. So you say, okay, I'm going to just tackle this first phrase. I'll play that 2 more times. And go on from there. Just take it phrase by phrase, play it 3 to 5 times in a row. Make sure you're really getting all the fingering patterns. And for those of you who don't, I'm going to turn this off, it's kind of annoying. For those of you who don't have the notation package, $10 or more, feel free to shoot me a message with any questions you might have. I'll maybe limit it to 1 question per person. So yeah, feel free to ask if you have any questions about the fingering. But it will be, I think it'll be really helpful to have this notation and tab for those of you who signed up for that. So that's the St. Anne's Reel. Maybe I'll play it one more time. I'll see if I can play it correctly. This kind of technique is actually kind of new for me myself. I haven't thought much about rotating fingers and where I would do it. So this is my first time really breaking it down for myself. So it's an exciting excuse for me to explore the bass a little bit more in a different way. So here's the St. Anne's Reel a la Nate to close us off. 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much, everyone. Enjoy playing the St. Anne's Reel, and I'll see you next week.